Hello? Hello? Over here. There we go. Hi everyone. So first off, I wanted to thank you all for coming. Each of you means a great deal to both families and we're thrilled you're here celebrating with us. So I wanted to try something a little different and share my thoughts through some videos and some pictures on the relationship that my sister and I have developed all these years and why I admire her so much. For those of you who may remember us as we were growing up, I hope to bring back some fun memories. And for those of you who didn't know us when we were growing up, I hope to shed some light on our childhood, the person Neda was and has become. So thank you very much for coming. I hope you enjoy. So the story goes that when Neda was born, I had mixed emotions. On one hand, I was proud to be a big sister, and on the other hand, I didn't know why she was there and how long she was staying. My mom tells me that one night she caught me walking towards Neda's crib with a pillow. I don't think that I was planning a sleepover. With a little time though, she started growing on me, and that's really when our friendship began. As children, Ned and I were very different. Everything from our personalities, our habits, to even the way that we just looked.
My sister's really different.
We were different. For starters, I was relatively shy, more reserved, patient. I remember always making Neda do things for me because I was too shy to speak up, like ordering food at a restaurant even. Neda was always a charismatic one, mischievous, with lots of energy and full of life. She had a huge personality. She knew what she wanted, wasn't afraid to ask, and always did things her own way. It was easy for her to strike up a conversation and make friends, and boy could she talk. Ned was nonstop. She talked about anything and everything. Even when no one was listening, she'd keep going. I loved how she always knew how to entertain herself.
World.
Okay, let's keep playing.
Shadie, I want you to make friends.
Typical Neda. See what I mean? Neda was definitely the girly girl of the two of us. She dressed up, always had spectacular makeup, did all sorts of girly things. She went from being super cute to absolutely gorgeous.
I am beautiful and tough.
While I, of course, was the certified tomboy, you know, the athletic one, and she's, well, let's just say not. Okay, well, yeah, she wasn't very athletic, but at least she tried. She did have her moments of brilliance every once in a while. Who knew she could surf? As adults, things haven't changed all that much, except I now know how to do my own makeup, although she still gives me some pointers. Neda always had a talent for the arts and dramatics. Going through old video, there are hours and hours of her in her room singing, playing talk show hosts with friends, and even with stuffed animals. Needless to say, she liked being in front of the camera, and I liked being behind the camera. Now, here's a commercial that she actually did for Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. It's what makes a woman a woman.
In case you may have not known, Neda is actually a pretty phenomenal chef. And growing up, we were pretty phenomenal eaters in our household. Neda was always funny, and as adults, I think I'm funnier, even though I don't have any pictures to prove it. As rambunctious as she was, my sister was definitely the more mischievous one. But her cute looks often let her get her by, and when it didn't, she was the stoic one who received her punishment like a hero. Well, as for me, I have to admit I wasn't always an angel. Once when we were little, I got in trouble for hitting my sister. Instead of her gloating, she turned around and scolded my grandfather for scolding me. She was always protective. One of the things that I appreciate most about my sister is that she's always been very affectionate and vocal about how much she loves you.
Hi, Shadie. How are you, Shadie? Hi. You're beautiful. My mom is so beautiful. Shadie, I love you. You're the best.
This was pretty typical of Neda. As kids, I showed my affections a lot differently, more aggressively through roughhousing, pinching, And over the years, I've learned to be a lot more gentle, I promise. But I've also learned to show love like my sister. No holding back, pure love, affectionate, and vocal about it. So these last few years we actually lived together, and during this period we've gotten a lot closer. Prior to then, my sister and I hadn't lived together since I graduated high school over 10 years ago. In fact, my mom pulled me aside and asked if I was sure I wanted my sister to move in. It's actually one of the best decisions I think we've both made because our relationship has gotten so much stronger. So my sister's always had the personality of being fiercely loyal, giving unconditional love, and I know she'll carry this into her marriage with Tofan. I'm proud of her, I'm happy for the both of them, and I realize that Tofan and I have a whole lot in common and have very similar personalities, and that's why we love my sister so much. So sister, I love you, you're the best, and to Tofan and Neda, may your love for each other grow as my love has for my sister each day. Cheers. Now on to the cutting of the cake.